Hi there, my name is Lindsay Weirich, and today I want to introduce a brand new offering that I've teamed up with Altenew to create, and it is the Artist Watercolor Foundation Brush Set. This is the set of brushes that will really help you get going in watercolor. So if you're a beginner or you're looking for a set of watercolor brushes that are tried and true that will kind of get you started, have everything you need for those basic techniques, and probably about 95% of the painting that you're going to do, this set is for you. And let's go to the table and take a closer look at it. Let's take a look at my brand new set of brushes with Altenew. This is the Artist Watercolor Foundation brush set of 7, and these are designed to be the brushes that you are going to use with pretty much every painting. Or if you're new to watercolor, the brushes that would make the most sense for you to have first. It comes in a nice sturdy chipboard box that you can use for storage. You can actually keep it for storing your brushes and your watercolor paint tubes if you want to. I like to use these boxes as like drawer dividers to keep my stuff all organized. And then in here you're going to see that we have some really beautiful brushes. Now when you get the brush, you're going to see it's got a plastic covering on it and that the bristles are stiff. So what you want to do is just kind of gently put it in some water. And that's going to help wash the sizing out, and they're shipped with this sizing so the brushes don't get damaged in shipment. So first we have a 3/4 inch angled brush. That's really great for doing skies, anytime you want to have a broad swath of color. Then we have a 1/2 inch flat brush. This is really handy for doing, if you want to do bricks or checkerboard, or you want to use it on the edge to do water. Again, we're going to set it in the water and let that sizing dissolve. This is one of my favorite types of brushes. This is a scrubber. It's a filbert shape, but because the bristles are nice and short, it's really great for scrubbing out mistakes on your watercolor paper. And it's made of golden Taklon, so it's got enough firmness to lift up those pigments, but it's not so stiff that it's going to damage your paper. Sometimes you'll find scrubbers that are made with a really hard bristle that just kind of tear at your paper and, mar the surface so you can't paint over top of it. So that's what this little short filbert is a scrubber. And again, we're going to let that just sit in the water to dissolve the sizing. Now, one thing you'll notice about these 3 brushes here is that they all have golden hair. That is golden Taklon synthetic filament. It's really snappy. It's got a really good shape to it. It holds a crisp edge, and they're really handy to have that in your flat brushes and your scrubber brushes. These other brushes here, the 4 rounds, they are made with a synthetic squirrel. Now, I prefer to use synthetic brushes versus real fur brushes for an animal rights standpoint, but also because they're more affordable and they perform very well. They hold a lot of water and they come to a nice point. You can see how razor sharp that point is. So this is a number 10 round. This is probably the size and shape I use the most. Again, we're going to give it a little bath, put it in the water. I will give them a little wash with some brush soap too, just to make sure I do get all that glue sizing out. Then we have a number 6 round. That's a workhorse. You're going to use that a lot because you can get a nice detail with the tip. You can get a pretty wide swath with the belly of the brush. I'll show you that in a moment. But again, a really handy brush to have. And then we've got more detail brushes. We've got this number 4 round that has lost its, I think I actually must have rinsed this one out because it's soft. Number 4 round. The thing you're going to notice is that the bristles, I have the bristle length on the longer side here, and the reason for that is so that it can hold more water and you can create longer lines. But the downside to having a longer bristle brush is that you lose a little bit of control. What you gain in the carrying capacity, you lose in control. So this little detail guy here, this small number 2 round, is going to give you a lot more control, and it's going to give you a nice fine line. Now, I don't have any really teeny tiny brushes because I find with watercolor, you can get very fine lines with your thicker brushes if you have that synthetic squirrel hair, because it helps the bristles will kind of slick together and let you get those fine lines. Tiny brushes like that run out of paint so quickly with watercolor that they're a little bit more aggravating to use. So what I'm going to do is wash these brushes up, and then we're going to put them to the test. Let's take a look at how each of these brushes perform. Like I said, they've been washed and they are ready to go. There's no more sizing in the bristles. And these brushes have acrylic handles, so if you forget them in the water, the handles won't swell and chip and get loose. So that's handy, although I do recommend that you rinse them out when you're done, wipe them off on a paper towel and let them flat to dry. All right, we're going to start with the smallest brush. This is a number 2 round, and I'm just going to pick up one of the colors. Now, I like to take my my watercolor from tubes and put them in a palette and let them dry out. It's nice to have a nice big mixing area like I have here, but for today's lesson, we're just going to use them right here on the palette, add a little bit of water to that. Now I have a divided water bucket, so I can clean my brush on one side and then get fresh water from the other side anytime I need to get fresh water. So basically what I want is the paint about the consistency of, I would say, like juice. And then I am going to experiment with making some lines here. So I can use the tip of the brush and get a very fine line. I can press down more and get a wider line. And as I start to run out of paint, you'll see that the mark gets broken up on my paper. So I can press down more and get a wide line. I can be on the tip and get a fine line. I can work straight up and down when I want the most control and detail, and I can work on the side when I want a wider swath of color. This tiny brush is not really what I would go for to get a wider mark like that, but you can get quite a variety of marks just from one brush. Now let's take a look at the number 4 round. That's about twice as big as the first brush that we looked at, which was the number 2. Let's take this pretty teal color. Add a little more water to that. So you just want to make sure that if you do want to get a long line with your brush, that you are really, you have that kind of juice-like consistency paint and you have it soaked right up into your brush. And again, we'll do the same thing. We'll see what we can do. Brush straight up and down. We're going to be able to get pretty fine lines if we use it on the tip, and then thicker lines if we press down a little bit, and even thicker still if we go at an angle. It's a little bit more difficult to get a really fine line with this compared to that, for 2 reasons. Because there's more bristles, the brush is actually fatter, but also because it holds more paint, so more paint's going to kind of come down the bristles as you're painting. The next brush we have is our number 6. You'll probably use this one a lot, especially if you are painting like the floral stamps that Altenew sells. They're pretty detailed, so this would give you a good kind of all-around workhorse. You can get into tight details, but you can also fill in larger areas. I'm gonna add a little more water to that. Grab a little bit more paint. Now this one is quite a bit thicker than the previous one that we used. Let's see, it's probably 3 or 4 times as big as that number 4. The numbers have more to do, I think, with the millimeters across the ferrule there. So again, if I'm up on the tip of the brush, I can still get a lot of detail. I can press down more to get a thicker line. Very easy to get a thick line. And look, it holds so much more paint, so I'm not going to be running out as easily. I can easily get some nice strokes. I can get a good variety of stroke from lifting and pushing on my brush. And you're going to use that one a lot. That is our number 6 round. Now our last round is my favorite, and if you do larger paintings, you're going to find that you use this one a lot more. This is a number 10 round. Now this is a really nice taper to it, so if you look at that, you're going to see that the bristles are longer, so that's going to help it come to a fine point. It's going to also help it hold more paint. So if you look at the length of the bristles between those two, you're going to see that's going to hold more paint, but it also comes to just about the same type of tip, though, that the other one did. So let's give that a try. Let's use, how about we use a purple? A beautiful violet color here. Make sure it's all nice and absorbed in. Or we'll do the same technique again. Once we're going to be on the tip. Now this got way more water in there, so it is going to want to it's going to want to kind of discharge the water a little bit more quickly. And it holds so much more. So this is better as you get quicker in your painting journey. You're painting a little faster. You're going to find that you can control this, and this will keep up to you. You don't have to reload quite as often. And you can get a very wide swath of color with that. So those are the rounds in this kit. I feel like it's a really nice variety, and it's going to give you most of the options that you're going to need for round brushes, especially as you're beginning in your watercolor journey. Now, do be sure to watch this space for tutorials using these brushes. And next we're going to go on to the flat and scrubber brush. One thing you might notice if you look at this large brush here is that it's bigger than the watercolor half pans that you may have. So in that case, there's two ways you can handle this. One is to take a round brush and grab your color and bring it to your palette, and then you can use your flat brush to pick it up. That way you don't risk kind of damaging your bristles. Another way is to work from tube paint. Now I have tube paint dried down in this palette. It's very convenient to use. And you know, I can get my brush in there a little bit, but you do run a risk of damaging the bristles. So if you have it, you can either squirt this out on your regular palette or on a ceramic dish. This palette, beautiful palette here, is by Altenew. I'm just taking out a little bit because that's all I'm going to use today. And I generally will clean up my palettes between sessions. So what I'm going to do is get some nice fresh water. That's going to be way too concentrated to use as it is. And I'm just going to add some water to this. Now, generally, I would have my palette, because I'm right-handed, I have it to the right side of me. But I want to make it look all pretty for you, so I'm trying to have everything all spread out so it looks nice. But generally, yeah, if you're left-handed, you'd have your palette on your left side, and if you're right-handed, you'd have it on the right side. So basically what I want to make sure is that I don't have any, oops, I'm splashing there, that I don't have any clumps on my brush. And I feel like I may have a little bit of a clump of paint there, so what I'm going to do is just, I know I'm wasting that pigment, but I'm going to rinse out my brush, and there we go. Okay, so these flat brushes are excellent when you want to do a large area. Say you want to do a sky and you want to have a nice flat wash of color. If I was doing a sky, I would add this dark kind of to the top, and then I would start adding some water into my paint, into my mixing puddle there, and I would start to bring it down. I would tape my paper down too, but we're just doing a quick little demonstration here. I'm adding clear water to that. I should have rinsed my brush in between, but you get the idea. And then you can just kind of graduate it down. And you can see how easy it is to manipulate your paint with a good quality brush. Now if you are getting streaks or you want to add more color, look and see, I'll show you how I can dip like the corner of that brush into that pan. Because it is an angled brush, you can go in with the corner of the brush, get the paint out, and then kind of work it into the rest of your brush on your palette. So if I wanted to add more color, I would add it to the top where it's darkest, and then I would just kind of work it back and forth down the page. And that would help me keep a nice smooth effect there. And you can see the beautiful granulation happening in that ultramarine blue. So there is one way you would use the large flat brush. You can also use it to get some straight lines, flat lines. Now I like to use the smaller brush if I want to do like ripples in water, especially if I want a little more detail, because this, for a couple things, this is going to fit in my half pans just fine. And I can very easily do like ripples in the water. And we will do some different techniques and tutorials with these brushes, so you'll see. But look at how you get a really nice crisp effect there with that brush. If I can bring it up there, you can see that. You can also use this for doing different effects like checkerboard or basket weave. You know, you could do lots of little patterns like that. Have fun with it, or just like a checkerboard, practice your brush control. Something that's fun that you can do with these brushes is a technique called side loading. So it's really easy with the angled brush too. So I'm just going to get a fresh paper here. So what you do for that technique is you would load up your brush in one color. Let's say, let's say like a yellow ochre. I'm just gonna get some out here because I already have it on that palette. Okay, and I'm gonna get that throughout the whole entire brush, even though I'm pretty much picking it up with the tip of that angle. All right, and then if I want to put a shadow on that, I could pick that up with the tip of the brush. So I've got two different colors on there, and then you can go and paint kind of a shadow and a highlight in one go. That's kind of a fun technique that you can do with a flat or an angled brush. The nice thing about the angle, it's easy to remember what side you have your shadow on, because that's the side that's kind of pointing up. But you can do it with a flat as well. I'll show you with a flat. That's really handy for like for florals. Let's say if we did some yellow, and then we get one corner of it in some red, and we want to do some petals. You do some petals like that. A little more red on there. That's just something fun to play with anyway. So that's a couple ways I like to use the flat brush. Now I want to show you that scrubber brush really quickly, and I'll take this wash right here. Let's say you wanted to lift some up. That's kind of starting to dry. Let's say, oh, I want to put a cloud here, but oh, my paper is not wet. My painting's dry. I can't lift that up. So you could take your scrubber brush and you can scrub in there, and what you're doing is you are adding water and disturbing the pigment. You want to use clear water. Go in there, you disturb the pigment here, you scrub it. It's going to loosen it off of the paper. This works best with colors that are sedimentary, like this ultramarine blue. And then you can press down, and look at that, you lift that right up, and now we've got a cloud. It didn't matter that we weren't so fast, we were able to lift it up afterwards using the scrubber brush. So that's a basic brief overview of these new brushes in the Artist's Watercolor Foundation Set through Altenew. Like I said, please watch this space to see some upcoming live streams and tutorials using these brushes so you can get the most for your money when you're using these. And you may even have some brushes like this in your stash already. I did design these with Altenew with the widths and the heights of the bristles that I wanted, but if you've got brushes that you're happy with at home, make sure you just practice. And if you are looking for those brushes to get started on your watercolor journey and you just want to make sure you're getting something good right off the bat, please consider my Artist Watercolor Foundation brush set with Altenew. I'm Lindsay Weirich. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.